Every time you have a little bit of momentum, you get up that mountain and then the ground falls from underneath you and you're sliding right back down, and now you're back at square one. This is self-sabotage 101. You knew what you were supposed to do, you showed up, you did the work, but then your temptations get the best of you. Your vices start to kick in. All of your old patterns and your old ways start to pull you back down to earth. If you've ever read the book Atomic Habits, there's a quote in there that I really resonate with. It says, "We don't rise to the level of our goals, but we fall to the level of our system." So if you have a faulty system right now towards achieving, whether it's financial success, getting into a relationship, starting a business, whatever your goals are, your system might need tweaking, but not in the way that you think it needs tweaking. So let me break this down. I talk a lot about this with the clients that I work with, and personally in my own life, I found this to be very helpful. What we want when it comes to building anything is a result, right? You want to make more money, you want to build a successful business, you want to get in great shape, you want to have successful relationships, maybe get married, have family, and all that kind of stuff, right? Those are the results of putting in X amount of effort. Maybe you have to weigh out your food every day, count your macros, you have to go to the gym, you have to get better sleep, you have to start approaching people, you have to start taking more risk and more action in your life, right? Well, those are the behaviors that you need to do every single day to get there. But what ends up happening? You do the behavior, sometimes you do it very consistently, but there always comes a point where you just fall right back down. This is where your traditional self-improvement advice really doesn't help you at all. Because every single general self-improvement advice only focuses on the behavior, the habits. Okay, well, just do this differently. Switch this approach. Talk to this girl using this line. Use this metric. So you do that and you shift the behavior and you shift your habits, which might work for a little bit. Maybe you gain an extra month's worth of momentum, a few months, a quarter, maybe even a year. But eventually what happens is these things start to unravel. Not because they didn't work, but because the identity that you're associating yourself with is out of alignment. And maybe more of a plain English way to say that, you don't believe in who you are. You claim you want to be this guy with all the success and all of this momentum, and you're finding your purpose and you're following a mission and you have a family, you're building a life, but your belief about yourself says otherwise. Because no matter what you do out there in the world, you will fall to the standard of the belief that you hold about you. So if you think that you're not worthy of a relationship, if you think that you're no good, you think that you have no skills, you could change everything you want up here in the behavior section, try to influence your results, but it's always going to fall back down. It's like a thermostat. Like if you have an internal temperature of 68 degrees, 70 degrees, I like to keep my house pretty cool because I get naturally hot, but let's say that's your internal temperature. 70 degrees. And then the windows are open though, and the doors are wide open, and it is super hot outside. But it doesn't matter because eventually your house is going to regulate to that internal temperature. You shut the blinds, you shut the windows and everything, and it regulates back to that temperature that you set on the thermostat. Ed Milet talks about this a lot, your internal temperature. Well, if your internal belief about yourself does not match the actions that you're doing out there in the world, it doesn't matter how much you change the behavior, you're always going to fall back to that standard, to that status quo. What really matters when it comes to changing your life is to get deeper than that. The next level, not the conscious level, right below that is the unconscious level, which includes your belief system and your identity. What you root your identity in is going to influence your behaviors and your habits, thus influencing your results, the things that you have in your life. The framework that I share with my clients that I've been developing for the last year and a half, that I've also lived by myself, is identity first, lifestyle is second, relationships are third. Not because that's the order of importance, that's because that's the order of succession and how things work. Your lifestyle is simply a manifestation of who you believe you are. Look around your life right now. Are you fully living in your purpose? Do you have the kind of money that you want to make long term? Are you living in the place that you've always envisioned yourself to live? That life that you're living now is a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. Now, whether that's good or bad, it always reflects your identity. Who do you think you are? It's going to show up in your everyday life, your career, where you live, everything about your lifestyle. And then the last part of it is your relationships. Who you invite into your life is going to reflect and complement who you believe yourself to be. If you have a level 2 identity and you think you're going to meet and marry and court a level 8, level 9 woman, you're out of your mind. You're going to do something to mess it up because you don't believe you deserve her. Again, this isn't a conscious thing. If this is a conscious thing, then this video wouldn't matter to you. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't watch this. This wouldn't be relevant. This is an unconscious process. It's a big part of what I do with my clients. And if you want to dive deeper into this, because this is an extensive process that I take people through, there's a link down below to book a call with me. We'll set up a call. We'll set up an evaluation call to figure out what your unique situation is and what you can do to get out of it and see if I'd be a good fit towards your growth and where you're at in life. Aside from that, let's get back to the video. Until you address the unconscious things, they will continue to rule your life. I believe it was Carl Jung that said that is, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will continue to rule your life and then you'll call it fate. So this is a real thing. This is deep psychological stuff that's going to make a big difference in your life. And I don't believe there's many men's content creators or men's coaches out there that are teaching this type of stuff. They're focused on the Band-Aid solutions, which are just changing your behaviors and your habits, but they miss the identity piece that actually makes it fit all into place. So what do you need to do? You need to address the current identity that is actually there. All the uncomfortable things, all the ways in which you doubt yourself, all the shame that you carry, all of the pain and the fear that is really underneath the surface. If you're being radically honest with yourself, you need to first bring those things to the light, because what is not in the light has control over you. What you don't address becomes your master. Throwing another quote out there for you. Sun Tzu, we can't defeat an enemy that we do not acknowledge. That is always step number one. I call that the false identity, because that isn't actually you. That is just what you've believed about yourself over the course of, I don't know how long. I had a guy that I was talking to where it's been years, decades, that he's lived in this reality. And because he had, quote unquote, all this evidence from his past, he was using that to define who he was more than he was using his own potential to define who he was. And I've definitely done the same thing, man. I'm talking from experience. One of the ways that I self-sabotage is my vices just kick in really hard before I make any kind of progress in my life, whether that's business, physical progress, or relationship progress. You know, one of the more relevant ones for me is I'll stay up and watch movies super late into the night, like 1 a.m., scrolling through my phone, watching Netflix, eating a bunch of food late at night has always been another habit of mine. And one of the worst ones, obviously, is just pornography. Watching dirty websites and staying up late into hours of the night, just wasting my sleep and staying on my screens, watching these disgusting things. And thankfully, that last one, I'm actually really starting to kick. You know, I'm on like a month streak here where I don't even feel tempted to go look at that stuff or do any of those things anymore, because I'm realizing how much they held me back and how much they actually kept me where I was at unconsciously, because the truth was, I was afraid. I was afraid that if I did actually succeed, if I did actually create the success that I wanted or said that I wanted, then I have to be responsible for the life that I actually created. And all that responsibility was weighing on me because maybe deep down, I feared that I wasn't good enough to even hold that type of life. So my internal fear of success, that was the identity that I was holding, that something was wrong with me. I'm not wanted. I'm not good enough. I'm wrong for wanting these things. If that's what's fueling my life, you can imagine every time I try to do something that I think is going to get me to the next level, like improving my habits and waking up earlier and not staying up super late and doing the outreach and doing my business stuff, you can see how I'm going to self-sabotage. Because if I have that core belief that's still there, it doesn't matter what I do with my behaviors. I'll always live out my beliefs. You know, you can say whatever you want about what you believe in. I don't even have to listen to you. I just have to observe what you do. Because every day, what you do is living out what you believe in. The way that you start your day, the way that you live out your day, the way that you end your day is a belief about yourself. You don't have to explain it because it's already obvious. So the key for me in this whole process, and for you as well watching this, you have to change the unconscious, the core identity, the belief about yourself. And once you do that, then the habits will take care of themselves. Once you begin to build momentum, you'll have it and then you'll keep it. Because you only self-sabotage because the person that you think you're going to be, the man that you're trying to become, is not aligned with who you believe you really are. You think either that's out of reach, you don't deserve it, you're not good enough. There's a million things that could be there that you haven't addressed yet. But these unconscious patterns are the thing that needs to be addressed if you want to break through to the next level in any area of your life. That's why I'm so passionate about talking about these deep subjects and these deep things, because I don't believe in surface level fluff. It's not going to help you. It's only delaying the inevitable. This has been the biggest benefit to me personally. It's helped me progress the most in my life, and it's also helped my clients as well. So I'd be crazy not to share this with you and tell you what it is that you need to hear, even if you don't know where to start. Can you do this on your own? Absolutely. Everything I'm saying here, everything that I'm introducing, my concepts, they're not like unique to me or people that I talk to. You could find this information anywhere. I just happen to package it in a certain way that is tangible, that makes sense, that has structure, that gives you a game plan, because I'm using it and I'm using this on my life as well, as well as the people that I work with. So I encourage you to study this stuff, to study identity psychology, to get deep with yourself by spending enough time alone, putting yourself in a room by yourself, and just really just be one with God. Ask for the answers, and then all will be revealed to you. Go for more walks alone, outside, in nature, without your phone, without distractions, because we're just numbing ourselves and just trying to distract what is truly there. Until you address that, it's going to continue to be a problem in your life, and you'll keep self-sabotaging, and this cycle will continue again and again and again. And this will only be just another video added to the collection, because you've seen them all by now. You know all the advice. You've read the books. You've listened to the podcast. It's time to make real change. You don't need another video, man. You need more execution. You need a plan. So if you need support with this is what I do for my clients. Again, there's a link down below to book a time with me. Let's hop on a free discovery call. It's free. So there's no secret. I'm not going to pull any strings. I want to give you some value and some clarity around what is specifically holding you back, and hopefully give you a game plan moving forward. And if it's a good fit, we'll talk about working together and how that actually looks, and how I bring people into my process. And if not, totally fine. You can watch this video for free. I'm going to give you as much value as I possibly can, and you'll still get a ton of information. It's just what matters is executing on it, and what matters is applying the information, because knowledge alone is not power. Applied knowledge is power. You're probably sick of me having all these one-liners and on these quotes, but dude, I'm a quote guy. If you haven't noticed that by now, maybe it's your first time watching one of my videos. That's a large part of how I operate my life. I have analogies. I like to talk about quotes and movies and things that inspire me, because I know that they'll inspire you. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if any of this is making sense. If you have a similar situation with self-sabotage, it's been really bugging me for a long time. I would say probably the majority of my life, because these things have never been addressed until within the last 2 or 3 years. I've been doing this kind of work for almost a decade, but I'd say the last 3 or 4 years has been when I really got serious with this type of work, the deep work. So if you're new here as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm talking about and you want to go deeper than just some of the mainstream surface level men's improvement content that's out there. This is not one of those channels. I'm willing to go to the depths and the abyss with you, because that's where the real transformation is made. If you want to ask me a question, I'm active on Instagram every single day. If you want to shoot me a DM, let me know. My link will be below. But I think there's a feature now on YouTube where you can DM somebody. I just saw that the other day. I'm not exactly sure how that works. So I don't know. Maybe you figured something out that I didn't. But if you do want to ask me a personal question, there is my Instagram below. But that's pretty much it, man. Self-sabotage is one of those things that it can be a real pain to overcome, because it feels like you're making progress on the surface, but deep down, like something's coming. I could feel it. Something's gonna make me slide right back down that mountain. And my thing is, with my process and my program, and just my intention, even just with these videos and my content that I create, I want to get you over that mountain. And what I've noticed on my journey is there's phases. Once you get to the top of one mountain, the journey's not over. It never ends. There's another mountain after that. And then there's a bigger mountain. And then there's another big mountain. And there's another mountain. And you can apply that to any area of your life. There's going to be different challenges at different phases of your life. I'm learning that even in my business. There's different challenges in different phases of business. And I just reached a new phase. Now there's new challenges. It just comes with the territory. And I believe those challenges are there to support you in becoming the man that you can be to actually reach that next level. So I just want to be in your corner and support you and document what I'm going through. I know that it's going to help somebody. That's my spiel. Hopefully all this made sense. If you want to talk to me personally, you know where my links are below. In the meantime, hope you have an awesome rest of your day, man. I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.